Stocks are higher right now ahead of January CPI report out tomorrow morning, 8:30. Consumer inflation is expected to rise on higher energy and food prices. However, core, some things people feel like that may go down. Perfect opportunity for trading if you got it the right way. I want to bring in now Simpler Trading VP of Options, Danielle Shay. And Danielle, before we even discuss your recent trades, I saw and also the stuff you're watching. You put out a great checklist on Simpler Trading. And I wonder if you can maybe share some with with the viewers on how to trade earnings. It's a long checklist, so we cut just half of them. We got 3 of these things, but I'd like to go through the first one. Of course, must trade in the options market. I mean, I guess that makes sense, huh?
Yes, Charles. Well, as you know, I'm an options trader, and specifically when I'm looking at earnings trades, what I like to do is I like to identify stocks that, of course, trade in the options market, and they need to have enough implied volatility. So what we're looking for is something that specifically is focused on in the media. It can draw a lot of attention to that stock, and what happens is it gets a lot of interest, and that means the options prices get juiced up.
So the bottom line is it gives it an exaggerated move, right?
Yes, that's correct. You don't want to look for a know-nothing stock that nobody's talking about.
Well, when you have, say, it must have weekly option series available, what does that mean?
So when you're looking at the options market, you have some stocks that only have an expiration series that expires once per month. That's called the monthly options expiration series. When you're trying to trade options around earnings, you really need stocks to have weekly options expiration series so that you can trade options in the exact same week that earnings occur.
And we are saying that like crazy these days. And the thing is, I saw somewhere at one point during this earnings season, those options are moving on average 29% higher. So I can see why people are doing it. I looked at your list. I saw Lowe's and Home Depot. Usually it's one or the other. You like them both here?
I do like them both. I will say that I like Lowe's a little bit more. And one strategy that I like to use specifically in options is I like to buy long calls prior to an earnings report about 1 to 3 weeks out. This is because if you can capture a directional movement going into the earnings report, in the options market, you can also capture an increase in implied volatility. So what that means is that your option price is going higher for 2 different reasons. And so for that reason, I like to look for options a few weeks in advance to capture the rise in implied volatility for a good trade. All
right. Also, your watch list. So you got UPST. I think Zillow got an upgrade today, potentially because they're heavily shorted, right? I mean, that plays a big role. If they catch fire, they really go up big time.
Yes, that's correct. So for earnings trades, I really like to get a watch list of tickers that are coming up near a previous high that have a lot of short interest. Usually I need at least about 10% of the float to be short. And in the case of Upstart, you have about 40%. So this is incredibly high. What that means is that if there's a reason for this stock to trade higher, you have a lot of traders caught short, and they will have to buy back their position to get out of it, causing a short squeeze. Now, earnings can be that catalyst.
Right, right. Let me, before I let you go, I got to ask Roblox. I saw it's on your list. Full disclosure, I'm long it. My granddaughter's long it. What are you looking for?
Charles, that stock is crack for kids. I mean, that thing, my son has to.
It's crack for babysitters, too. I mean, it's a pretty good babysitter. I hate to say it.
Yes, that's correct. What I'm looking for is that I would really like to see the company start making money, but I have no problem with having it in a kid's account, because I do think that model is the way of the future. Right now, the stock isn't looking great, but that's a long-term hold for me.
All right, great. Danielle, great stuff. It's always appreciated. And by the way, in 24 hours, you'll know just how well you did. But you take those risks, and we appreciate you sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, coming